Hey, this is Dan here from Rune Silk, and I'm joined by one other, and that's none other than Damo for show, and this is the Beardmail podcast. So sit back, listen, and enjoy.
I don't actually know what we're doing, Dan. What are we doing?
Oh, yes. Hello there. I'm phoning from your bank.
Yes. I'm here. Hello. What do you want? Some money in that?
Oh, I just need you to confirm some security details on the account, if you wouldn't mind, please, sir. If we just start with your mother's maiden name, if that's okay.
Dave.
Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it.
Dan, do the intro, mate, because I'm quite enjoying hiding behind this.
Good afternoon, sir. Today we are talking about scams and cybersecurity.
Hello, everybody. Do not fear. Do not fear. I apologise profusely for those just listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all that. Me and Dan were mucking about for the YouTubers. Today's podcast, Get the Hook In, is we are talking about scams. And just for the benefit of those listeners, we disguised ourselves a little bit, and it was a little bit last minute, and it was all a little bit wonky, but it was great fun. I enjoyed it, Dan. Why are we talking about scams, and why are you the expert?
Well, I think that I've seen quite a lot of people now, especially on social media and some of the other more neighborhood apps, talking about scams, being scammed, potential scammers, and how to protect yourself against scams. So I think it's quite big, especially as we are predominantly online. Everything is online at the moment. Our bank accounts are online. Our credit cards are on your phone, and it's really quite easy to get scammed. Everyone kind of goes, oh, no, I'd smell a scam a mile off. No one's going to scam me. I'm totally scam proof. But when I used to work for an IT company, predominantly building, working around the cybersecurity area. And it was always a case of it's not if, it's when. So most people will be scammed at one point in their life, whether it's fraud, cloning, social engineering, that sort of stuff. It's so easy now for people to get your information, and before you know it, you've just given them the access to your bank account. I had one recently with my online bank account, and do you know what? That close, literally inches away from falling for it, because the guy had a very clever script. He knew exactly what he was doing and how he was sort of all the pain points. And before you know it, you're like, hang on a minute. I've just given him the 6-digit code that was sent to me from my bank account without even thinking, because I was so convinced by this guy that, whoa, and it's that easy. And it's a lot of social engineering is coming into it. You're seeing a lot of people all the time on Facebook. Ignore friend requests from me. I haven't created a new account. I've been cloned, this sort of stuff. And it's always, there's so many, I'm sure you've probably had an Instagram message, from someone saying, can you help me? Just need this 6-digit code. I just got locked out of my Instagram and I need to send the code to someone I know who can verify my account. Then you kind of go, oh yeah, Dave, I haven't seen you I've spoken to you for years, but yeah, I'll help you, man. Yeah, get the code sent to me. Oh, I can't get into my Instagram account. So there's a few things that you can look out for. They're getting a lot more sophisticated. A lot of scam emails from the princes of Nigeria with all limones to send you, and my dear, my love, they were really easy to spot because one, their English was terrible, and two, no one's just got 185 million Ugandan dollars just to give away. Things aren't that nice. People aren't that nice. If it's too good to be true,
Probably is.
It's not probably, it bloody well always is.
Unless it's the Beardmail beard care box, and that is too good to be true.
That is too good to be true, and it's not a scam. And we don't take your credit card details and go to Vegas. Damo, have you booked those tickets yet?
We totally should. I've had a few of them DMs that are sort of littered in between the other ones that say, "Would you like to see my willy?" but yeah, no, and they do get a bit cleverer and better, don't they? And I think what's happened more recently, I tell you what, I've had a few of, is actually delivery ones. So everyone's ordering stuff online and getting it delivered to their homes, and they're jumping on that now. So they're saying, "Oh, your delivery is ready," or "We've missed your delivery," or whatever. Click here to re-deliver and that, and you don't know because you get lost. Or what have I ordered? Did I have something coming or not? And yeah, I'd seen one of them, but I think it was like, I nearly said DFS. Then that's sofas. It's what's the
DHL,
DHS.
Yeah.
But I think it was like it was the same
DHL.
branding. It was the same branding, the same DHL. Sorry, the same branding, same colours and all that. But I think one of the letters was different. But I've had a couple of them recently come through on the emails. But yeah, you have to be switched on. And I mean, I think the thing with them is like they can. It's so easy now for scammers to they can try 10,000 people, 1 million people. Like they can just they might have an email list of 1 million. They only need to get 10 people, and and they're laughing, aren't they? So it's disgusting, and I hate it. My dad got scammed once on the phone, and it was really upsetting. Actually, it knackered him. That was just one over the phone, and they got into his computer, pretending that they were security, and you needed security updates and stuff for your firewall and all this. So he was like, "Oh God, I don't want to get a virus on my computer or whatever." And I think he got done for like 400 quid and all sorts. So yeah, scammers, mate. What do we do to avoid them, Dan?
Well, for one, always check verified sources. So, for example, the one that I had, and I got called twice by this person as well, but I knew that I was in the middle of a scam when the guy on the phone got pushy. Like the minute he started getting a little bit too comfortable with being like not aggressive but assertive, that I was like, hang on a minute, I'm in the middle of being scammed here. And it started off with someone phoning me. Usually, if it's a mobile number ringing you for one, then immediately raise your flag. But this one was, "Hi, phoning from Tide, not asking you to give me any security information because we don't do that." I'm like, okay,
that's a red flag. That's a red flag straight off the bat. If someone phones me and says, "I'm not asking for security," well,
no. So no. As in, I'm not gonna. At Tide, we never ask for your details. So
what is Tide?
Tide's an online bank account.
Yeah.
So automatically, he's putting that trust in. Like we never ask you for any security information at this point. I'm calling you today because we've frozen a transaction on your account, and it starts saying, "Do you recognise a payment of £3,000 to a wedding venue in Scotland?" Of course, I'm going to say no. I'm based in Cambridgeshire. No. Okay. Well, don't worry. We haven't allowed that payment to go through. It was flagged as fraud, so we stopped it. And then also, there's another one here as well. It's Tesco Mobile. It looks like someone's tried to take out a mobile contract out on your phone, on your card. Yeah. Okay. No. Don't worry. We've absolutely cancelled that. And they'll say you should. So before they've even started talking to you, they'll say, you'll just receive a text message with case reference 117958, just to show that this case has been logged, and you get a text message that says your reference to this, the investigation is 1179, but whatever. So you're kind of going, okay, cool. So he's on the case here. Then he says, okay, well, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to send you out a new card. Yeah. So already you're like, okay, well, look, he's not asked me for anything at this point. Yeah. He's just said, going to send you a new card out. We've frozen those payments. And he says, okay, cool. So just to confirm this, you'll get a text message from us just to say that your card's been cancelled and the new card's been sent out. And you'll get a text message and you won't necessarily read it because you'll blindly just look at the text message and the number, and he'll say, cool. It'll say, just to let you know, so it should give you a reference number for that. Can you just repeat that back to me? And you go, yeah, 271859.
That wasn't it. It was 1178. Oh.
No, this is a different one. So this is the 6-digit code that they've generated to give them access to your account. So before you even realize it, they've got you on side. You're trusting them. They just say, if you could just confirm that case number back to me. Bang. What they've done is they've actually requested access. So immediately, it's the same with the Instagram stuff. When they say, can you send me that code? What they've done is they've actually given you access to change your password to your Instagram. And what these guys were trying to do was connect your card to an Apple Pay account. So then they could literally just go anywhere and just tap, £100, bang, 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 £100, bang, 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 and spend money on online. But then, so after a while, I figured I actually got caught out a little bit, even though I worked in this area, the guy literally got me on side. So I cancelled my card. He phones me up and says, I see you've already cancelled your card. You need to, or frozen your card. He said, you need to unfreeze it. He started talking about malware on my phone is possibly a way that it's been caught up. And I just said, look, dude, I don't like this conversation. I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going to speak to the guys on Tide. And he said, you need to unfreeze it. Otherwise, we can't sort the malware out on your phone. He said, it'll take about an hour and a half. And then we can, I'm like, in that time, they've accessed all of it. Taking your money out. Another thing to look out for, if they ask you, can you confirm your balance in your account? Well, no, you're looking at my account. You should be able to tell me how much I've got in my account. I'm not telling you I've got loads of money that you can go and scam and spend away. And then, because that's the other thing. They say, it looks like your card's been used to set up an Apple Pay. We can take that off, and it will say your card's been removed from Apple Pay. But then, boop, another text message comes in and says your card's been activated and added onto an Apple Pay. So it removes one and then adds another. So that's quite. But the thing is, they called me again because I've got several Tide accounts. They called me again. Hi, it's Michael here from Tide, and it looks like someone's tried to use your card for a wedding venue in Scotland. I was like, oh no, really? Oh no, that definitely wasn't me. They started talking, and then I went to him. I said, Michael, was it by any chance someone tried to use it at Tesco Mobile as well? Was it? And he hung up on me, and I was just like, oh, come now. But so a lot of it as well, social engineering. The social engineering side of things is why people are cloning Facebook accounts. So they're essentially they're claiming to be someone else in order to gain access to your account. The biggest ever tip here is that if you get phoned from someone claiming to be your bank account, say to them, I'm just in the middle of something at the moment. I understand how severe and important this is, but I'm literally sitting on the toilet. Can you call me back in 10 minutes? And then phone your bank. So don't handle out stuff on an incoming call. Always say to them, that's fine. Call me back in 10, and then call your bank or that sort of thing. One of the biggest problems that a lot of people have. I was talking to a friend of mine. So part of my job, obviously, is I do a lot of marketing consultancy with people, and I was helping someone with an Etsy shop. And he said, and I said to him, look, let's work on your Etsy. If you haven't got time, I can go in and I can build the products for you. So. And again, this was trusting. He knows me. I said, send me your password, your email address and password, and I'll log in and put the products on your Etsy account. He sent me his password, and I went, that looks like something you use on absolutely everything. He was like, yeah, don't try and log into my PayPal. And I was like, so it's one of those ones. It's like, if you're using, and I've gone through now. I use LastPass, and every one of my passwords, I think I'm about 92% of gone through everything online that had the same password, because I always used to use 3 variations of a very similar password because I'm old and I forget shit. So I get something like LastPass where it generates a ridiculous password. You would never be able to remember it, but with the amount of hacks and data breaches, they've only got to get one email address and password and try that on absolutely every single thing. Access to your PayPal, your bank, your emails. Once they've got access to your emails, they've got access to everything. So I think it's just being a bit careful with that kind of stuff. It's very important. And at absolute worst case scenario, just activate 2FA, so two-factor authentication, where you get a little code sent to your phone. Then you can have whatever password you want, as long as you can then have to enter a code. So yeah, it's scary, especially as we move everything online. That means we're literally just putting everything out there into this cloud, even though the cloud isn't really in the sky, to potential attackers. And usually it's financial, and it's horrible when you get hacked because it can take months to get your money back. I got my card cloned about a week, 2 weeks before Christmas. Someone spent like $2,500 on my card Stupidly bought car insurance on it as well. Like, really? Like, you're not going to follow that up? Police won't do anything either. This is the problem. They haven't got time to follow up for fraud. But that ruined Christmas. Like, I had like no access to spending money at that point because my card had been gone. It had taken however long for the card to be replaced and a new one issued. Had to put everything on credit card, up until Christmas, presents, shopping, and it's horrible. It's horrible to be a victim of fraud. It feels horrible. It doesn't feel nice. And it's so easy to fall for.
Stay safe out there, kids. I'm fretting now. I'm fretting. What's that LastPass then? Is that just a website you go on and they just generate a password for you? Isn't that dodgy?
Yeah, so you'll notice when I've sent you passwords to like the Instagram for Beardmail, for example, it's a multi-string with symbols and
WX64447 blah blah blah.
Yeah, VX # exclamation mark squiggly diddly diddly dot triangle line.
That's the YouTube one.
That's the YouTube one. LastPass, and you can use it for free as well. And it's just somewhere you can generate a secure password and save it, but just don't use your everyday password to use as the master password. Because again, most people go, I need to make sure the master password is something that I remember. So if I do squiggly wiggle 1974, and then someone that's your old Hotmail account, then they can get into your LastPass. So LastPass, it's free to use. Yes, it's an extra step of having to go in and copy the password. You can pull it through so that it auto-fills, but I don't recommend that. You just have to go in, copy password. You can download the app for your phone as well. So it's one step. Yes, it slows you down by 7 seconds of getting into your favorite social media platform, but it's safe.
I have the old two-step authentication thing on mine. It annoys me actually sometimes when I try and speed up my computer. It deletes all the cookies and stuff. So then I try and log into certain things and it won't let me. And I'm like, oh god! And then you have to put all your passwords in again. So it is a bit of ball ache. But things have gotten easier, haven't they? I mean, there's so many more things now that I don't actually use a password to get in. Actually, it's my fingerprint is on my phone for most of it. And that's got to be scary as well. I think that people have got your fingerprints. It's one of them things, isn't it? The human beings in the world, there'll always be criminals that'll exploit whatever's going on. So in the olden days, they used to, they would do a bank robbery or, do a hold up the stagecoach. And nowadays, they just do it online. There's always going to be criminals out there trying to steal your money and stuff. It's the way of the world, isn't it? Just got to do what you can to stay safe. Yeah. Do what I do is have zero money in your account so they don't target you.
Well, they'll still get you targeted because most people will have some kind of overdraft. Even if you've got a £200 overdraft or an emergency limit, that's worth someone trying to gain access to because that's banked £200. If you've managed to get access to 1,000 people who have only got a £200 emergency limit on their card, that's £200,000. And before you know, I know you're talking about side hustles, right? The other thing as well is, I mean, a lot of people are moving their cards to this. They can tap everything on their phone.
I'm not down with that yet.
You've even got people who have got card reader devices who can literally just stand next to you and tap your phone, tap your card, NFC. Boop. Oh, look, you've just been charged £99. Boop, you've just been charged £99. That's why quite a lot of people now look for those sort of NFC contactless protected wallets. So at least then you can't just get tapped on a tube or in a busy festival.
Where could I get one of those from, Dan?
Various places. And you can find them all over the shop. I'm not here.
Is there a really good looking one with Rune Silk written on it?
Yeah, there is. We do a contactless wallet. Yeah. But that wasn't the shame. It wasn't for a shameless plug. But the other thing as well is people will try and get you unawares. Like the amount of times that I'm selling something, whether we're at the bar or doing a Rune Silk trade stand, and I'm tapping on the laptop, and I'm like, that should be ready for you about now. If you'd like to check it, before I've even said check it, they're boop. And I read quite a lot of horror stories where people at festivals were using the wristbands, the payment RFID wristbands, and they weren't really even paying attention, and every vendor would add £1.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you
really
get an
savvy
ice
with this.
cream for
Actually, I always make, even like when I go to McDonald's, but people have got comfortable with just expecting people to tap without looking at it, and I don't. And then I feel bad for asking. But like, at McDonald's drive-through or something, they just hand the machine like that and expect you to tap it. And I'm like, you could be rinsing me of serious dollar there. But yeah, always check before you tap away. Speaking of which, at festivals, I'm sure when I was helping you out on the minibar, somebody charged somebody twice, but realised they had tapped and then it tapped again. But then they were happy to just have more drinks. So I sorted it, Dan. I sorted it. It was, you might call it an upsell, really, but actually it was a double tap. So yeah, be careful.
Well, that's
be careful with tapping.
And sometimes it can be a genuine mistake due to being tired or just not really. But there's a few times where sometimes, if you're working on an iPad, especially with the bar, and you're making cocktails and you've got sticky Passoa or something, your screen's dirty, and you go to tap it. And I'm like, whoa, that said £255, not £25. So and it's an easy mistake to make. And if you don't look, and obviously you can't tap that amount, but if it was £9 and you've charged them £99, yes, they can absolutely tap out £99. And for some people that extra 72 whatever, or 90 odd pound overspend could mean the difference of them not being able to go to Tesco and get food shopping, because it's going to take 2 or 3 days for that refund to take place. Especially if they've bought it on a Saturday, they're probably not going to get that refund until Monday. So it's always worth checking these things. And I do always try to say to people, like, I'll tell you when you can check it and tap. Don't just tap. Because at the festivals, not the ones that we were working at, but there was a story, I think it was at Camp Festival, that the ice cream van was charging £4.50 for an ice cream, but they were actually doing £5.50 on the thing because people just wouldn't look. They'd just tap. And if you get away with it 700 times, you've made an extra £700 that day. Yep. So you have to be vigilant. But I think like the main thing is just, especially with online stuff, just be careful, because if someone messages you asking for money, just have to be brutal and say, I'm ever so sorry, but I'm not willing to do that. Now if I get a message, because I get them weekly, I get someone messaging me in my Instagram box saying, hi, can you help? And I just reply saying no. Don't even say hi. I just say no now, because I know it's not that person's account. If you open a message to me saying, hi, can you help me? The answer is going to be no. If it was a, hey Dan, how's it going? Look, I'm in a bit of a pickle. Couldn't do us a favor, could you? 100% I'm going to listen. But if you just open it by saying, hi, can you help me? No.
I've just checked my Instagram now. I've got one. It says, would you love to hear our offer for you? Not really. But I have had that one, and it came. It was quite a clever one, really. You have to admire the cleverness of it. But there was one that was I've entered in a voting thing. Can you vote for me? Because in the beard world, you get a lot of that, don't you? Which is genuine. A lot of people are in a beard competition; they need votes or whatever. But that one went round for quite a while, and then the other ones, they are silly. When it says, "Oh, I need a friend to access this," and it's like, "Well, I'm not your real friend." And then if it was a real friend, they wouldn't message you on Instagram or Facebook. They'd probably phone you or WhatsApp you. And it's ridiculous to think that if anything like that was happening, that you would need to get a random stranger involved or another person involved. That's not how shit works. So, yeah, stay savvy.
There's a couple. There's a couple as well. Like you saying earlier on, you got like an email from DHL. And quite a lot of the time, there's a few things to spot really quickly. One, the logo is probably a screenshotted one, it's going to be pixelated and blurry. Two, never ever click anything unless you click the from and then see what the email address says, because most of the time it will say something like info@dh1.mail.z. So the actual email address isn't correct. And even if you think it looks correct, I had them for Spotify and stuff like that, where it's like we couldn't charge your card. Please log in to update your card details. Spotify logo looked crisp, had all the footer looking nice. Hit the from email address bit, and it was like Spotify with a 1 and an I with the I. It was just those sorts of things. So that's one to really look out for. What's the other one that's recently popped up? I saw someone on Facebook saying, Mum, dropped my phone, screen's broken. Can you please call me on this number?
Yeah. Actually, this is how savvy my mum is. I was in Dublin once, very drunk, and I literally lost my wallet or phone or car or something. I can't remember what it was. I lost my phone, and I think I borrowed my mate Dave's phone. And I messaged my mum and said, "Mum, I'm in Dublin. I've lost my phone. I haven't got enough money." And she's like, "How do I know it's you?" And this was a genuine thing. I'm like, "No, it is me." But she obviously thought it was a scam. And she asked me all these tricky questions that only I would know the answer to. So my mum's pretty savvy. And then she did send me some money, and then I did actually find my phone in the pub. So win-win for everybody. But yes, even if it's family, ask some questions. Always keep asking.
Yeah, and I think the easiest one to ask is how do we know each other? Because I had it. Someone messaged me. I think I posted in one of the trader groups on Facebook saying, minibar looking for more events, blah blah blah, and someone messaged me saying, yes, there's a craft fair or there's something. I heard you're interested in craft fair, and I was like, yes, cool, yes, we have craft fair. What? We have craft fair? I'm like, okay, that sounds a bit odd already. Are you interested?
For 2.5 hours.
Maybe 1.5 hour, 2.5 hour. Are you interested? And I'm like, I'm always interested in finding out new events, but you've not given me any more information.
Yeah.
Yes, we have craft fair. Okay, cool. Where is this craft fair? Do you want to book a stall? Well, I don't know. don't know yet. Like, well, give me some more information. It's only $40 for the day. Well, okay. Well, I'm not in America for one, so that's not going to be any useful of me, is it? So yeah, I think it's it's just trying to spot it, and it's just one of those things. Like, if you genuinely just don't, even if you do recognize it, unfortunately, it's not going to be real. Pick up the phone. If I got a text from Damo, saying, Dan, I need to get access. Even if he knew me by name on the message, Dan, I need to get access to my Instagram. Can you help me out? I'll be like, right, Damo, give me 5 minutes. I'm going to give you a call. Same with people in business. Quite a lot of people get stoned. One of the biggest ones is literally, it's called something to do with hijacking. I forget what the first term for, but it's something hijacking, where they can actually intercept conversations via email. And then they'll email a finance department and say this invoice. So they know they've got the right invoice, and it says this invoice is outstanding. Please note before you pay that our bank details have changed.
Oh.
And then what they'll do is they'll go, okay, cool, ever so sorry. I'll make sure that gets paid. Update the bank details on our system, and therefore all of a sudden they're paying it out. And that actually happened to a friend of Megan's. It was, I can't remember. I think it was someone's boyfriend or ex-husband or something managed to do something where through her business literally went to all her suppliers or customers and said our bank details have changed, and he was getting all the money put into his account, and that was like her ex-husband or something. So in that case, it's always just worth going, cool, I just need to validate this. I'm going to call the number of our contacts and just double check them before you pay it. What was the other one? The email, I think it's just email hijacking. Oh, the most quality one was the story of the email hijacker who managed to intercept all the communication between, I think it was a stocks and shares press company agency, between that and the company that sends all the stocks data. So when it gets published, it goes from here over to here. And someone had managed to intercept all the communications for 9 months, so they knew what to bid on or against in the stock market. Because as results were getting published before it went to public, they were managing to get in and kind of go, oh, we're going to buy loads of that and I'm going to sell loads of that, and they made millions before getting caught.
Absolute scams and scandals. Also,
scams and scandals.
Big shout out. We had this conversation in Man to Pace Monday once on DBFC about Paddy was going to go and buy a bike. So yeah, buying stuff off eBay or marketplace, and that can be suspicious. Some of the red flags to look out for, cash only, because if you're not paying into a bank account. There's another one actually. Somebody else was buying something and were like, "Yeah, we don't take a bank payment." It's like if it's a business, they should take a bank.
No, it's usually the other way around. I think it's they require you to place a deposit via BACS first. Because it's because it's irreversible. When you approve a transaction from bank to bank, you've approved it, so the bank can't reverse it.
Got you.
Happened to me with a trailer. PayPal you can, yes, because you can get buyer's protection, and obviously cash. Well, you know, you're not going to pay it until you see it. That happened to me years ago when I was doing Fest Taxi. I bought a trailer on Marketplace. It was Facebook actually, and they said, "Perfect. Actually, we can get this delivered to you rather than you driving the 45 miles to collect it." And I was like, "Oh, even better." So they said, "Yeah, just literally." They sent me an invoice, said, "If you can transfer the money into our account, we'll get this delivered to you next Tuesday." And I was like, "Yeah, sweet. Saves me having to go and, you know, mess about driving." And then all of a sudden,
did they say see you next Tuesday?
Pretty much. It was. Oh no, it was. Yeah, sorry. It said we can get this delivered for you. It was and it was from some parcel force as well. I was like,
DHL. But
should have thought parcel force are never going to deliver a trailer. Can you imagine the guy in the parcel force van just towing this little box trailer behind him, just delivering that
with DHF on the side.
And it was, and I spoke to the police. I reported them. I had the address that the trailer was supposed to be at. They actually sent a policeman around to the house. Obviously, it was a phony address. The woman was like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." When she said, "I don't have a trailer." And they said, "There's nothing we can do. We've investigated the address. You made the transaction via your bank account.
Damn it.
Can't reverse it."
Damn, it sounds like you've been scammed a lot, mate. And this was supposed to be you being the expert on how not to get scammed.
Well, that's why I'm an expert, because I've been scammed so many times.
You've been through it, man. You've been through it.
I've learned. I've made the mistakes and paid the penalties. So in order for you not to, hopefully I can help some of you not get it done. But if I do phone you up and I say,
Good afternoon, sir. I just want your sort code and account number.
You should definitely take that for real, because I want your money for a Beardmail box or something.
Yeah, that would be allowed. Dan, on that note, I've got to go because the bank's phoning me. I've got to go and sort out something. They need my mum's maiden name. So we ought to wrap this one up. It's 31 minutes gone. Boom! Thanks very much for all the information. Stay safe. Don't get scammed. But do go and buy a Beardmail box. They are available. Go and get one. Go and get one. Bye. Thanks for listening or watching the Beardmail podcast. We have new episodes dropping at 07:30 a.m. every Wednesday in UK time. So we thank you very much for watching. Check us out on www.beardmail.co.uk for everything that's new and happening soon. Thanks for listening, guys. Big shout out for the people that watch after we finish the podcast. Big shout out. Can you actually, if you are listening right now, can you drop a comment on YouTube or somewhere so we know who it is, and then we'll give you shout outs. When we're done.
Credit cards and a scammers.
Yeah.
Say something poignant, Dan. We've got to wrap it up.
We can feature you and give you a shout out, but it'll probably cost you like your sort code and account number, mother's maiden name, your first pet, maybe the street that you grew up in, and possibly your first car and favourite colour. In fact, can we put a survey out with those exact questions out to the audience?
We could, but we're not scammers, Dan. We're legit. We are legit. Go and get a Beardmail box. See you soon. Bye for now. Bye.